Why is it often smart to wait on quarterbacks in your fantasy drafts?
Well, I think it's because of the depth at the position. Because you know what the reason is? Is because fantasy football is broken. And this is a different rant. No, I'm dead serious. But this is a completely different rant for a different show. But the default should be in any league is super flex or 2-quarterback league. Because if you're in a 10-team or 12-team league where it's 1 quarterback, the problem is that there's just so much depth at the position. Again, so Yahoo, where the default is 12 teams, 1 quarterback, Aaron Rodgers is going late in the 8th round.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Dak Prescott is going early in the 8th round. Aaron Rodgers.
He's good.
If he is good, he is hashtag analysis.
Yeah.
Look at us breaking it down. But my point is that if you had an actual NFL draft and you put all the players on every team, the first pick is Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, and that second one and Justin Herbert. You know, I mean, it's all going to be quarterbacks for the first 15 picks, if not more, and that's not how it goes in fantasy. So The reason why it's smart to wait on quarterback is just because there's so much depth at the position, whereas bell cow running backs, there aren't a lot of them. Elite wide receivers, there aren't a ton of them. There are more than running backs, but that's why, because, if you can get Aaron Rodgers in the 8th round or Dak in the 8th, I mean, Kyler Murray's going in the 6th. Jalen Hurts is going in the 6th. Those are guys that are going to put up big fantasy points. Having said that, I do think more than ever this year it is more important to get an elite quarterback versus just you know what, I'll mix and match with Baker Mayfield and Carson Wentz or whatever.
I like Baker Mayfield.
You do?
Yeah, I love Baker Mayfield. I'm all in. Just remember, when he beats Cleveland in week 1 and he becomes immediately the favorite for comeback player of the year and the train has left the station, you're not allowed to get back on. Because it's me and Baker, and you're out.
No. I'm in on Baker Mayfield as an upgrade for the Carolina Panthers. I'm in on Baker Mayfield as helpful to DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey. I am out on Baker Mayfield sitting in the kitchen with my mom at 8 a.m. in the morning. But that sounds like you are. So Mama Croucher, Baker Mayfield is above the Croucher line. Is what I'm just that's kind of like the Mendoza line. It's the Croucher line. Is this quarterback good enough to have coffee, to be in the kitchen at 8 a.m. having coffee with the mom?
I think it's the Mayfield line because he's the last guy. At which point I'm comfortable.
Or should it be the Zach Wilson line? Because I mean he's it's inspired by him. Yeah. But Zach Wilson isn't above the Zach Wilson line.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's
below
the
delineation.
He's firmly below it.
Yeah. So it's the Baker Mayfield line.
The last thing I'll say on this is that we have 13 guys who are set at over 4,000 passing yards in their season total. So we're expecting, Derek Carr, we're expecting to get 4,500 yards. Now, Derek Carr.
I do think if you're in a deeper league, I do think Cousins and Carr are sort of my cutoff in terms of QB1, because after that you start getting into the into the Baker Mayfields, into the Trey Lance, the Justin Fields, the Trevor Lawrences, and they all have upside, but there's definitely risk there. Cousins and Carr are kind of the last two where I feel comfortable. Okay, I can live with that guy as my starting quarterback.
You don't feel great coming out of a draft with Kirk Cousins as your starting quarterback, but you probably should feel okay because it means that you've taken running backs and wide receivers earlier. We have Kirk Cousins, the 9th favorite to lead the league in passing yards at plus 1,600, 10th favorite to lead in passing touchdowns, 10th favorite to lead in passing yards. And for everyone who's all in on Justin Jefferson, you have to be slightly in on Kirk Cousins as well because they're inextricably linked together. He could have 5,000 yards.
Over 30 touchdowns each of the last 2 years, well over 4,000 yards each of the last 2 years in a conservative offense, and now they're going to go pass happy. I do think it's important, though. I do think it's important in terms of quarterbacks that if you can, you want one of two things with your quarterbacks. You either want rushing upside. The Josh Allens, the Kylers, the Jalen Hurts, who's my ride or die, right? I mean, those guys, the guys that can run. Lamar Jackson, obviously. Even, Mahomes and Herbert will get you, some points with their legs. Or they have to have massive passing touchdown upside, right? So, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Cousins and Carr on some level have that. But here's, if you can't see it at home, we have a full screen up of our projected quarterbacks in terms of rushing yards. We project, this is Yahoo now, Yahoo projects Lamar Jackson to lead the NFL among quarterbacks in rushing yards. Then there's Trey Lance, Jalen Hurts is 3rd, Josh Allen 4th, Justin Fields at 5, and Kyler Murray at 6. Again, the rushing is so key that can make somebody that isn't great as a passer, which is what Jalen Hurts was last year. He was not great as a passer. but still was a top 8 fantasy quarterback due to the rushing. You cannot underestimate how crucial it is to get a quarterback that gets you points with his legs.
Yeah, it's also just, and it biases things a little bit, but it's also just more fun to have a running quarterback. It's the same reason why Michael Vick is the greatest ever Madden quarterback and everyone's just competing for second. It's just cool to have someone on your fantasy team who can run fast down the field. It's like, look, there's my guy. He's accumulating yards by moving his legs quickly.
Right.
It just makes it more fun. I will say, though, that...
Which explains why you're so in on Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I like Baker Mayfield. He gets down the field a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He scoots a little bit. He's a scooter. He's not really a runner. He's more. He's kind of scoots.
No, it's like the anti-Colin Kaepernick, which was like the long legs, the dashing, very short legs for Baker.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
Listen, Brady, Stafford, and Aaron Rodgers, they were 3 of the top 6 quarterbacks last season. Rodgers can move a little bit, but he's not adding massive rushing yards, and then Brady and Stafford can't. So I wouldn't be terrified if you don't come out with someone.
Exactly. But again, what those 3 quarterbacks have in common, Rodgers, Stafford, and Brady, is that they all have massive passing and touchdown upside.
Yep.
All 3 of them obviously are elite, real NFL quarterbacks, and all of them are in fantasy-friendly offenses throwing to great wide receivers.
Yep.
Well, except for Aaron Rodgers this year. So we will see.
The last point on that as well is that rushing, it gives you upside that no one else has. So the best fantasy quarterback season the past 3 years, Lamar Jackson in 2019. No one else is even close because of that upside.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and RotoWorld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from RotoWorld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.